side out here in the forest, want to keep an eye out. We'll see an okapi over on the right-hand side, that darker colored animal with the striped legs. They kind of look like a zebra stripes. They're not actually related to zebras at all, though. Okapis are close relatives of the giraffe. They're actually in the same family. We'll also see some bongos on the left-hand side of these orange-colored antelope, the white stripes, and some greater kudu over here on the right, pretty close to us here. These light brown ones. Both the bongos and the kudu have those white stripes on their back, which they use for camouflage. That helps them to blend in with the vegetation out here in the forest. You can tell these kudu here are female because they don't have horns. Well, it's only going to be the male kudu that have horns. It'll be the easiest way to tell them apart. Both male and female bongos have those horns, though. They'll use them to help navigate through the thick vegetation out here in the forest. It looks like coming up on the left-hand side here, we'll see a black rhino. It's going to be all the way back by the wall there. Black rhinos are browsers, which means they eat bushes. They have prehensile mouths, which help them grab onto the leaves from the bushes that they eat. Black rhinos can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. They're mostly solitary animals. They do like their alone time. They tend to stick to themselves for the most part. A lot of animals out here in the forest are also very shy and reclusive. So many of them are not often seen out in the wild. It looks like that is about it for the Aturi Forest. We're going to go ahead and move on up to the next area of the reserve. We're heading to the Sapi River. Sapi River is a little bit different kind of ecosystem. It's home to some more aquatic animals. So these are animals that like to spend a lot of time in the water. We'll see what we can find out on the river today. We'll find some pink-backed pelicans coming up on the right here. It's these gray birds with the long bills. They do have that light pink coloring on their backs, which is pretty light. It does get a little bit brighter during mating season. Pink-backed pelicans are colonial nesters, which means they'll nest in large colonies of up to 500 pairs. We'll see some Nile hippopotamus over on the left-hand side. They're hanging out in the water behind the island there. These hippos do spend most of their time in the water. They can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes before having to come up for air. They will come up onto the banks sometimes to graze. They are herbivores, they only eat plants. They do spend most of their time in the water. They don't really swim through the water. Instead of swimming, they'll kind of walk along underneath the surface, which is where they get their name, hippopotamus, which means river horse, because of the way they'll walk or run underneath the water in the river. The Nile hippos can weigh up to 5,500 pounds. Looks like we'll find some Nile crocodiles hanging out in this part of the river here. These crocodiles are ectothermics. They are cold-blooded. They are reptiles, one of the largest reptiles in the world. They'll warm themselves by sunning themselves on the rocks, helping to regulate their body temperature. They have extremely powerful jaws. The bite force is strong enough to crush the bones of their prey. You can be very gentle with them as well, though. A mother crocodile will roll her eggs around inside her mouth to try to help them hatch. So we are leaving the Sapi River. We're going to head on out to the savanna. The savanna is a very different kind of ecosystem. It's a lot drier, so there's not as much vegetation and not as many water sources. A lot of animals out on the savanna are migratory. They'll migrate, travel long distances at certain times of the year in order to follow fresh food and water sources. And speaking of water sources, we'll see the baobab tree over here on the right. It's this big, kind of funny looking tree here. The baobab tree can store water inside of its trunk. So some animals can rip the bark off and drink the water inside, which is why they also call it the tree of life. Savannah here. Looks like we might already be able to see some animals up ahead here. We'll get a little bit closer to them here in just a bit. We've seen some Maasai giraffes. Giraffes are the tallest animals in the world, reaching heights of about 18 to 20 feet tall. Looks like we'll also see some Herman's Mountain zebras just up ahead here, off to the right. Zebras do have a unique stripe pattern. No two are exactly the same, kind of like a fingerprint. A baby zebra will imprint on its mother's stripe pattern so that it can always recognize her in a herd. Giraffes have long prehensile tongues which they'll use to grab onto the leaves from the trees that they eat. They spend most of their time eating. Giraffes will spend about 20 hours a day eating. And you'll notice it is a lot more open out here on the savannah. There's not as many places to hide. So a lot of animals out here rely more on their speed and agility as their main defense against predators. Not as much on camouflage like we saw with the animals in the forest earlier. We'll see some African painted dogs over on the left-hand side here. They're laying down kind of in the back quarter. There's one a little closer to us here as well. They have that unique fur coloring, which kind of looks like they're painted, hence the name. African painted dogs are pack animals. So they do like to stick together. They're very good at teamwork and are actually one of the most successful hunters in the world. They'll hunt together in packs led by an alpha male and alpha female. Looks like we'll see some sable antelope over here on the left-hand side. Those brown antelopes with the long curved horns. Sable antelope will use those horns as protection against predators trying to jump on their backs. So they're one of the few animals that will actually stand their ground and fight off predators. And a great example of one of those animals that will use their speed and agility as their main defense out here on the savannah. We'll see some more giraffes over here as well. You can tell these are Maasai giraffes because of their spot pattern. They have more jagged, irregular edges to their spots, which is what's going to distinguish them from other kinds of giraffe. And those little bumps on their heads are called ossicones. They kind of look like horns, but they're actually part of their skull. Ossicones are one trait that the giraffe does share with the okapi, the animal that we saw in the forest earlier. I mentioned that they are in the same family. Except the trait they share are those long prehensile tongues. Find some more giraffes up ahead here. So we'll also get another view of these zebras here. And we'll see some more zebras up ahead here as well. Looking off to the right up there, we'll see a baby zebra on the hill there. Get a little bit closer here in a second. When a zebra is first born, its legs are going to be almost the same length as they'll be as an adult. So you kind of have to grow into those legs a little bit. That allows that baby to learn how to stand and walk right away within the first hour of its life. That way it can protect itself against predators. We'll see some wildebeest up ahead here as well. These darker colored antelope pretty close to the road here. Wildebeest get their name from the Afrikaans word for wild beast. They'll migrate in huge herds of up to 1.5 million wildebeest. See that baby zebra up there? Looks like the baby might be hiding up there.
Yeah.
We'll see some springbok up here as well. Those little caramel colored antelope, they're up on the hill there. The springbok are also super agile. They can leap up to 6 feet in the air and 13 feet across. So a springbok could actually clear this truck if it wanted to. Another good example of one of those animals that'll use their speed and agility as their main defense out here on the savannah. The springbok is also the national animal of South Africa. You'll see an eland up ahead here over on the left-hand side, this large tan-colored antelope. They have the spiral horns. And they're one of the largest antelopes in the world. Elands are also super agile. They can jump to clear heights of about 5 feet from a standstill. And elands have adapted well to the drier conditions out here on the savannah. They can go for quite some time without drinking water. They'll get a lot of their hydration from the vegetation that they eat. up to the next part of the savannah here. We're heading into elephant territory. So I want to keep an eye out for some African elephants that we might find up ahead here. Looks like we'll see some coming up on the right-hand side here. African elephants are the largest land animals.
Not far to keep on.
You might notice them flapping their ears back and forth a bit. They'll do that to help keep cool. We have so many blood vessels in those big ears that when they flap them back and forth, they can lower their body temperature by up to 15 degrees. So it is a pretty effective way of keeping cool. Another view of this elephant right over here as well. We'll keep an eye out up ahead here, see if we can find any more elephants up ahead. Unfortunately, though, out in the wild, there are not a lot of elephants left. They are close to being endangered. A lot of that is due to poaching for their tusks. Their tusks are just another set of teeth. Deforestation and habitat loss are also big threats to elephants out in the wild. Red clay pits just up ahead here. Red clay is a really good source of minerals and nutrients for elephants. So it's a good sign that we might find somewhere nearby. We'll keep an eye out. Looks like we'll see some more coming up on the left-hand side here. We'll pull forward here, see if we can get a little bit better view. Male elephants do tend to be more solitary, while female elephants are more social. They'll stick together in larger groups. And another thing that elephants will do to help keep cool is they'll throw dirt on their backs. It also kind of works like a natural sunblock. They do have very sensitive skin. African elephants will eat about 300 pounds of food every day. We are making our way on down to the watering holes up ahead here. Watering holes are gathering places for animals out here on the savannah. Where water is more scarce. Let's see what other animals we can find down here at the watering hole. Looks like we'll see some greater flamingos just up ahead here. They're the largest species of flamingos. They get that bright pink color from their diet of brine shrimp, which has beta-carotene in it, gives them that vibrant coloring. Looks like we'll see some baby flamingos here, those smaller gray colored ones, a little bit darker coloring. So you can see they don't start out with that pink color, they'll develop that as they get older. And a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. So we have a flamboyance of flamingos here. Now we'll go ahead and move on up to the next part of the savannah here. Looks like we will find some more birds. Just up ahead of us here, we'll see some ostriches coming up on the left-hand side here. Ostriches are the largest birds in the world. Those birds, so they can't fly. They'll use their wings to help keep their balance while they run. And I guess they'll run pretty fast, up to 40 miles an hour. We'll see some white rhinos here as well. We didn't see that black rhino earlier. White rhinos are even larger. They can weigh up to 5,000 pounds. They get their name from the Afrikaans word "wit," which means it's actually referring to their wide, square mouths, not their color. So maybe the other main difference between white rhinos and black rhinos is the shape of their mouths. Unfortunately, though, out in the wild, rhinos are also threatened, largely due to poaching for their horns. There's a myth that rhino horns have healing properties. They're actually made out of keratin, which is the same thing that your hair and fingernails are made out of. You want to keep an eye out over on the left-hand side here for some cheetahs. They do like to hang out over here. Sometimes they do kind of like to hide all the way in the back. Keep an eye out here. The cheetahs are the fastest land animals, reaching top speeds of about 60 miles an hour in just 2 to 3 seconds. See a few of them laying down all the way up in the corner there. The cheetahs do tend to hunt more during the day, which is different from most predators. Most predators hunt at night. Cheetahs hunt during the day so they can avoid the competition. They are not as powerful as most other predators out here on the savannah. They rely more on their speed and agility when hunting. Now we're coming up to this big rock formation here. These are called Kofi rocks, which is going to be the highest point on the savannah. Gives predators a great vantage point so they can look out over the entire savannah. So we'll keep an eye out for some more predators as we're coming around the Kofi rocks here. We'll see a lion up on the Kofi rocks. It looks like a couple of lions up here. See a male and female. Lions do spend most of their day just resting. They'll spend about 20 hours a day resting. They are more active at night when they hunt. And they're more social than most big cats. Lions will hunt cooperatively in groups called prides. It is actually going to be the female lions that do most of the hunting, while male lions will guard their territory and take care of the cubs. Get a great view of these lions over here. And the lion's roar is so powerful it can be heard up to 5 miles away. Maybe we'll see some warthogs just up ahead here over on the left. See their burrows here as well. Warthogs will use those burrows for protection. They'll back into them, that way they can easily fend off any danger with their sharp tusks. And they like to wallow in the mud as well, which will help to protect their skin and keep them cool. The warthogs aren't super picky about where they live. Sometimes they will take over burrows that have already been dug and then abandoned by other animals instead of actually digging their own. Another ostrich over here on the right. Ostriches have 2 toes on each foot. That helps them to run faster, while most birds have 3 or 4. This helps to kind of make up for their lack of flight. We'll see some ostrich eggs on the ground over on the right-hand side there, and a little cluster of them. Ostrich eggs are the largest eggs in the world. One ostrich egg is the equivalent of about 2 dozen chicken eggs. And they're so strong that a grown adult could stand on top of an ostrich egg and it would not break. We are leaving the savannah. We're coming on up to Magadi Glen here, where we're just going to make a loop around the Warden's Post before we start heading back on up to the village. And as we're coming around the Warden's Post here, looks like we'll find some of the Nigerian dwarf goats. They are pretty small, but they are fully grown. That is their full size. These little goats are domesticated and kept as pets. They're also really good for conservation, as they are dairy goats. They produce milk and cheese. Farmers can sell those dairy products, which keeps reliance off of local wildlife. So we are going to go ahead and start making our way back on up to the village. close to endangered. Fortunately, though, there are a lot of things that you can do to help to protect these animals and their habitats. Recycling paper products when you can is a great way to help to prevent deforestation, which is a big threat to a lot of the forests that many of these animals live in. If you'd like, you can also make a donation to the Disney Conservation Fund, which supports several different conservation efforts worldwide. You can donate at any of the gift shops right here at Animal Kingdom, either a direct donation or by just rounding your purchase up to the nearest dollar, or however much you'd like to give. So we are coming on up to the village here. Our safari will be coming to an end here shortly, and I'm going to bring you folks all the way back around to the same dock that we started on. We're actually going to pass these two unloading docks up ahead here. It'll be just another couple minutes as we make our way back around. Explorers on board today. We've been riding on the Simba 1, S-I-M-B-A, and then the number 1. Make sure you get that safari badge after you get out. And if you do want to see more animals today, I recommend checking out some of the exploration trails throughout the park. Find the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Right after you get off this ride here, you'll actually already be inside the Gorilla Falls Trail. It's about a 20 to 30 minute walking trail. Gives you a chance to see more animals over there and kind of go at your own pace. If you exit out and head down the ramp, if you turn left, that'll take you through Gorilla Falls. If you turn right, that'll take you back on out to the village. If you head out to the village, then do make sure to keep an eye out for the colobus monkeys on your way out. As you're heading out, if you look over on the left-hand side, you should see the monkeys there. They're usually pretty active. And we're going to be passing these two loading docks here as well in just a moment as we head back on up. So if you do want to go ahead and start gathering up any personal belongings, just make sure that you have everything that you came here with. As we'll be heading on up to the dock here pretty soon. Out here in Rome, though, we don't really like to say goodbye because that's way too sad and way too final. So instead we like to say Quaverini. And Quaverini means go well. Go well, go wild, go have a great rest of your day here at Animal Kingdom, or wherever your next ride is. On the right hand side, watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs as the doors are opening, and watch your step as you exit. Quaverini friends, thanks again for joining us today. Have a good one, and make sure to stay hydrated out there.
Alright, that was Kilimanjaro Safari. It was pretty good, and we're gonna go again. So, hang in there and welcome in. Thanks for being here. Welcome in. Come in. Feel free to like the stream, subscribe if you're new. If you're watching on the rewatch, thanks so much. Taking the time out to learn a little bit more about Animal Kingdom. All aboard is going aboard. I'm Blake, and thanks for being here today. Let's get that going. There we go. Hey, stream. All aboard is going aboard. Here we go, going around again.
I have to say, so far we're pretty shaded back here.
Well, I feel like she gets triggered by Rennie too. That like the moment Rennie gets upset with something, she's like, "All right, here we go."
Good morning. Thanks for being here. Feel free to say hello in the chat. Can you hear me? We definitely had some audio troubles with the app here, so still getting a little used to streaming. Still a new channel, so we appreciate you subscribing. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers today, so we're at 90 subscribers, so it's our goal to get to 100 subscribers. Let's call for a reservation. We are walking over to the safari, Kilimanjaro Safari. Animals seem to be pretty active this morning. See some Maasai giraffes on the first go round. So let's see, second time. Hopefully we'll get the other side of the safari truck to capture the lions. Oh, pretty long line through here. It is posted 20-minute wait. Hang in there with us.
Wildlife make it difficult to see animals and spoil the magic of the natural habitat. So check the setting of your phone now before we begin the safari.
The cheetahs were kind of hiding. But yeah, like all the cheetahs and the flamingos, they're better seen from that left side of the truck. But the giraffes are better on the right side of the
We
truck.
must work to protect our precious wildlife from harm. Poachers will hunt these beautiful animals for their
And there is a baby zebra.
But poaching is not the
I want
only
to see
threat
the baby
they
zebra
face.
again.
Human encroachment on their habitats is just as big a problem. The demand for farmland to feed growing populations, the new mines that supply the precious metals to power our phones and electronics, these are some of the biggest threats that are depriving animals of their native habitats and disrupting their life cycles. It is therefore our responsibility to find a balance that
I was thinking about
protects
the
these
ostrich eggs.
magnificent creatures
They've been
we of Harambe, together
there a
with
long
the Disney
time.
Conservation Fund
I wonder
and
how long it
many
does take for
conservation
Australians to hatch.
organizations, work with communities around the world every day to find ways to keep
Did not
them
get to see
safe.
baby Flora.
Just by being
The
here today,
elephants were
you
also
are
on the left side.
helping
So
us with this
it
work,
is really good to get that
creating
left side of the
memories
truck
that
because
we
you
hope
get
will make a
really
place
good view of
in
the
your heart for
elephants,
these
the
people.
lions,
If you would
painted
like
dogs
to
on
do
the left
something more to
side.
help us with conservation, talk to
Yeah, if
one
you're
of the
options,
villagers
if
in
the giraffes are your
Harambe
favorite,
to
try to get the right side of the safari truck. So when you go around the savannah, but mainly on the left side, you do get, like even the crocodile is left side, the rhinos are left side, so
no two safaris are the same. You will see new animals and discover new behaviors on each trip into the reserve. So, asante sana for your visit. Have a wonderful journey and Kizuri Bahati. Good luck.
I still really like the giraffes. So it's still a win-win to be out there on the savannah. I think you can get lucky if the giraffes could be on the left side. So yeah, if you can get the left side of the safari truck, and you see about trying to get the back row. That way, try to get the left back corner and get a good view for everybody. Yeah, even the cheetahs are on the left side, and the warthogs. Maybe chirps.
You gotta go like that song. Like extra little bar at home that should be
The theme so far for the trip is Go Wild, as we signed up for the Frontier Go Wild Pass this week. And now we're here in the safaris, going wild. Frontier was pretty good to me getting down here. And I, $15 going coming down with that, and I got my trip booked for going back. $15 going back.
Right? They put them in a little bar. And you
Just here for the day.
It's got the pourers, right?
I did get
Tomatoes,
a
vodka.
boarding
Great.
group for Tiana's Bayou Adventures. We'll do that later once the boarding group's called. I haven't got any notification yet. Magic Kingdom is opened already. But yes, when I checked in to come down on Frontier, I got a window seat. And when I checked in to go back now, I've got a window seat. So that's pretty awesome. And it's row 9, which is actually one of their comfier rows. I think it's the middle seat though there. It's comfier because I could kind of tell when I was coming down. I was like, oh, this middle seat's a little bit wider. But I didn't have anybody sitting beside me coming down. So hopefully nobody's sitting beside me going back. Just that's such an early flight tomorrow morning. We're flying back at getting up 5 a.m. to get to the airport for like a 7 o'clock flight. But I figured it was fitting since we signed up for the Go Wild Pass to start in Animal Kingdom. And I am not staying at Disney resorts this trip since it was last minute. So the hotel I'm staying at was closest to Animal Kingdom. Right here, that's worked out pretty well. We waited about maybe 10 minutes for the first safari trip. safari shortly. They're just waiting in line.
Sorry, I was getting eaten in the car. And I got the call. She's like, I'm gonna go ahead and give you an offer. And when I sitting in
inside the vehicle at all times. Most importantly, please keep your eyes on your children. Securely store any personal items. And if you are on the night safari, don't forget to turn off the flash on your camera or phone. Once again, have a wonderful safari. And as we say here in Harambee, Karibuni, welcome aboard.
We're making it. All aboard is going aboard.
Ciao everyone. We are almost ready to board you on our safari vehicles, and I wanted to make certain I told you about our loading procedures. Before you actually enter the loading area, please locate the nearest trash bin and discard any unfinished food or drinks. If someone in your party is traveling in a mobility device, please let
We're getting there.
Bienvenidos a Kilimanjaro Safari. Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo. Incluya sus niños. Gracias. Chapo, everyone.
One cup.
Row number 8, right on this track. Yeah, you want to wait for row 9? Yeah. How many? 2. Row number 8, right on this track. Okay. Bring it up to that yellow line and stop.
You should be in good health and free from high blood pressure.
Right, row 7, I'll get you on the next track. Row 7, I'll get you guys on the next track. we can sit right in this area.
Friends on the right hand side, please hold your hands up to you. Next doors are sliding closed. Asante Sana says we thank you, and here in Harambe, we like to say Tote, that means let's go.
Subscribe. Oh, let's see. We're going to do back row. Oh, there we are.
Putting y'all welcome aboard. It's not all the way over. All that available space for your entire party does not. Wait, worries. You will be on that next truck. So go ahead and take a look around. Make sure you get our entire party on here with us. And if you're on that right side, watch your terms. Safety and fun. Remain fully seated. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck for the entirety of the journey together. So that does also mean there is no standing, no seat switching, on any of our child's walking none of their laps or their seats are assigned to side. Here are all our final seats together for the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to look like the ones you picked out and the ones that everybody is currently sitting in. If you look up above your head there, that's the animal spot guide. That is going to help you identify some of the animals we could potentially see out here on the reserve today. I can't guarantee we're going to see each and every animal up there. I also can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to stop for every single animal we do see out here. We are going to try our best. I do always recommend, though, that if you have a camera, make sure you go ahead and pull the thumbs out, just because these animals can pop up anywhere and everywhere, and sometimes that is a little bit more unexpectedly. Now, if you happen to drop your cameras or any other personal belongings outside of the truck, unfortunately, I'm not able to stop for us to get those back. We will try our best to get back to you as soon as possible, but I can almost guarantee that those won't be returned to you in the same condition they were left behind. That is due to the trucks and the animals potentially getting to your items before we can, so make sure you hold on tight to anything you'd like to keep back there.
I know, I said the same thing to Sandy and Mike. I didn't want to jinx it. Hopefully that is not REIN.
Does this happen to be anybody's first time on the safari?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Me too. Alright, so we're just going to wait for that all clear from the warning to head on into the reserve today.
It's just rubber tires, they feel like
Alright, it looks Looks like we did get that all clear, so we're going to head on in here. Let me go ahead and fully apologize for the way that I sound up here. I am losing my voice just a little bit, so I'd appreciate it if you could be a little more patient with me today, and I am going to try and give you the best safari that we can here. All right, if you look on the left side, the first animal out here, this is a saddle-billed stork. So I do already know she's a female. That's because I see those bright yellow-colored eyes there. Her eyes are going to match the bill. That's actually where they get the name, the saddle-billed stork, because they do have that really bright yellow saddle shape there. Males are going to have the dark brown eyes. But they do both have a wingspan of around 9 foot wide. That's actually about the width of this canopy up here above your head. So I'm guessing this might be the male a little bit farther along back there. I can't see that eye color, but probably safe to say. And on the opposite side out there, that is an okapi. A lot of people think the okapi is a relative of the zebra. That's because they have those black and white striped party pants on their legs there, but they are actually going to be the only known living relative of the giraffe. We know that based off of their skull shapes and off of their tongues. Okapis do have really long tongues. They can use them to clean their eyes, clean their ears, and to swat any of those potential bugs off the back of their necks. So we're going to keep on going here. Looks like we're in black rhino territory next. Black rhinos are going to be solitary, so that means they can't shy away and hide pretty often, and they do also like to hang out by themselves a little bit more. On average, those rhinos are going to weigh anywhere from 800 to 3,000 plus pounds. Now we are passing a lovely group of ladies here on the right side. There are 2 different kinds of animals here, but they are all females. So the ones we can see a little easier here, those are bongos. Now they're actually nicknamed the ghosts of the forest. That's because they are really great hiders, and we actually don't get to see them too often. They do also have those light stripes on their bodies, and those are going to mimic sun rays and help camouflage them even more. Second animal up there, they were going to be greater kudu. So I would say we had pretty good luck out here, out in Aturi. So we are going to see if we can keep up that luck over in the next section over here. It's called Safi River. So I really like it out here with the aquatic animals because a lot of them can swim back and forth across the right and the left hand sides. So that is not only super great for the animals, that is super great for us as well. That is going to hopefully give us 2 opportunities to look for the same or potentially different animals on both sides of the river here. I do already see that pot of pink-backed pelican coming up ahead there, those white birds. They get their name because they like to show off just a little bit during mating season, and their skin is going to turn a really pretty pink color. And there is a second animal down there as well. There's actually some out on the left side here. This is what we call a bloat of Nile hippopotamus. Now they can be a little trickier to spot sometimes. That's because they're going to submerge themselves under that water for a really long time throughout the day. That's going to help keep their bodies from overheating. They are even able to do that while they're asleep. That's because they can close their nostrils and they can actually fold their ears back. So that's going to allow them to stay underneath the water for several minutes at a time there. Eventually they do float all the way up to the top though. They'll take a breath of air and then they'll float right back down to the bottom without ever waking up once during that entire process. Now I'm not seeing any more hippos here, but I do see some of the Nile crocodile down below next. Yeah, you are very right. Alright, so these crocodile, they're going to eat up to 50% of their body weight at a time. That's because they are going to only need to eat around once a week or so because they do eat such large portions there. A great way that you can tell a crocodile and an alligator apart, even with those jaws closed. Crocodiles have a little bit more of a toothier smile, which means you can see some of the top and some of those bottom teeth poking out, even with the jaws closed there, because they are going to have a little bit more of that toothier smile there. Versus with the alligator, not so much. That is just because their lip does cover a little bit more. They do also have 2 different snout shapes, so you might think it's the other way around. but the alligator is going to be the one with that C and curved shaped snout, and the crocodile is going to be the one with the A and pointed shaped snout. On average, they weigh about 500 pounds, and they can actually grow up to about 16 feet or so long. I believe the largest crocs back there, though, I think the largest one we have here is 12.5 feet, so they can get much larger than the ones that we just saw back there, if that is true. It is time to go ahead, though, and say after Wild to, of course, those crocodiles, but also everybody else out there in Safi River, because we are crossing over to one of my favorite sections of the reserve next. This is called the Savannah. The Savannah is a really large area. It was actually split into 3 separate portions due to that sizing alone, and I think that is really important to point out and recognize, because these are mainly free roaming animals. So as the drivers, we can pick up on some favorite animal hangout spots out here, but because they do move around so frequently, I can guarantee that they are going to be in the exact same spots they were in the last time I was driving around out here. So what we're going to do is see if we can find anybody closest to us and closest to the truck first here if possible, and then you are going to see some other trucks out there a little bit farther away, and that'll show you about how close we are going to get to anybody we might see out on the other side a little bit later on. Just with the Savannah alone, that is going to make Animal Kingdom the largest of all 4 of the theme parks. And to give you a little bit more of a perspective about how large the safari is, you could actually fit the entire Magic Kingdom park inside of this safari and then still have room to park about 500 cars. So because it is such a large area, that does give us some areas like this where there's not a whole lot going on our side out here, but we can definitely see other animals a little farther away out there, just because they do have so much of this to walk around in out here. So again, hopefully we'll get to see somebody over on the left side here in a second. I'm not too sure. I do think there was an animal stop going on, so sometimes when that happens, we do get a little backed up here with these trucks like that. So that's why we have slowed down just a little bit, but that's not always a bad thing. That does just mean in the long run, you do get to spend a little bit more time with some of the animals out here. Oh yeah, if you look on the left here, predator territory. No, they're not hyenas. They are African painted dogs. They have really, really unique markings, but they are going to still be able to tell each other apart at really long distances. Unlike our domesticated dogs at home, they've only got about 4 toes on each paw. And they are going to be one of the most successful hunters in all of Africa. That is actually because they will continue to hunt their prey down until it physically drops from exhaustion. So because they do not give up, that is going to give them a pretty successful hunting rate. These trucks ahead of us get a little farther along there, and we are going to pass another lovely group of ladies here. These are the sables. They are super special to us. That's because they're the emblem of the entire Harambe Wildlife Reserve. So if you've ever seen our logo or even the sign before we came into the reserve, it's actually a picture of them on it. They are all about protecting themselves, and of course we are all about protecting the wildlife here, so that does make them the right fit to be the emblem. They do also have these horns pointed backwards. That's going to help protect them from any potential predators that could jump on their backs. Or those are also going to assist them if they need to spar with any of the other sables there. Alright, so we are hanging out here just a little bit longer. I think those animals are just a little bit too close to the road up ahead there. So as soon as they get on their way here. And this this is their home and this is where they live. So we do want to be extra respectful to these animals, and sometimes that means stopping like this to give them a little bit of extra time and space to get across the road or do whatever it is that they need to do in their home here.
He's doing it. Despite the fact he knows a human's going to come feed him. To gather up the baby and get him out on the road.
It's down the bottom of the
Right up against.
So I am a little partial to liking the sables a little bit more out here because me and one of the sables actually share a name and it's spelled the same way, and I never see it spelled or hear it from anywhere else around here, so I'm a little bit partial to them. And since that's pretty much the only thing we can see here, that's what we're hanging out with. But they are pretty cool though. There are obviously a couple other animals we can see out here too. There's some giraffes hanging out. They're pretty hard to miss. They are going to be the tallest standing land mammals in the entire world. They stand at around 18 to 20 feet tall. That is actually almost as tall as I am. Typically those newborn giraffe are also about 6 foot tall already.
So of course everyone's mother now is going to hold the choice to choose food.
All right, it looks like we are able to get back on the move here. So we are going to get to move up ahead and you will get to see some more of these giraffe we were just talking about. Now, not only are they going to be really large in height, they are also going to have really long tongues. They can be about 18 inches or so long. And something else you may or may not see out here, their tongue coloring. It is more of a dark purple or a bluish tone there. And that is because it spends a lot of time outside of their mouths, of course, reaching up into the trees like we see here. And you can kind of see her tongue color up ahead there. She is trying to grab some out of that tree there, but all that's going to do is basically just help prevent them from getting sunburned, because if they did have a lighter colored pink tongue like you and I did, that could be the case there. Not only is there a set of spots here, there's also this set of stripes. So this is what we call a dazzle of Hartman's mountain zebra. They are one of the kinds of zebra that can climb those mountains. That is actually going to be due to that shaping they have on their hooves there. Yeah, those babies can actually do something really cool. It's called imprinting. They'll do that on their mom, and that means if they ever get separated, they can actually find her out of those really large groups just based off of that unique stripe pattern they have alone. Something else you might notice, there was that nose color that was black. That is actually a really great way for us to tell that those zebras probably have a black base with white stripes instead of the other way around.
Can you send me that picture?
So we're going to keep on going out here. We are passing some termite mounds right here. That's what the left and right hand sides are. There's a couple wildebeest walking this way. Now, usually we see a decent amount of them out here because even in the wild, they have been known to migrate in those really large groups, sometimes reaching about 1.5 million or so at a time. They are not only called wildebeest, they are also called gnu's. That is really, really similar to the sound that they make. But wildebeest in the first place actually comes from that word wild beast in Afrikaans. Who knew? So I think we are going to go ahead and head on over to the middle portion of this savanna here. So sometimes we can find animals out here, sometimes we can't. It really just depends on where they're walking around, and they may or may not be visible out here. But we have had a pretty good luck, I think, so far today. So looks like we are going to keep that luck up. I do see an elephant already.
What is that, the baby?
So if you catch a glimpse of that ear shape there, it is kind of shaped like the continent of Africa. Conveniently enough, those are going to be African elephant there. Looks like we are going to get to see another one here, potentially a little bit closer. closer there. Looks like she's eating some of that hay there. So we are going to potentially have another opportunity to see some other elephants out here. It's called the Red Clay Pits. Now I can't guarantee that we are going to get to see any more of them, but a really great sign that they've at least been in the area recently. We're going to see if we can find any. Does increase those chances slightly. So as soon as you start seeing some of this red clay coming up ahead here, that is where you're going to want to start to look for these tusk marks here, and hopefully we will get to see more elephants, but if not, luckily we did get to see the two back there. So based off what I'm already seeing on the right-hand side there, that is definitely some of those elephant tusk markings. I think the ones that did that may actually be out here on the left. So we're going to see if we can get a little bit of a better look here. It is a little bit of a guessing game. The reason that they're breaking that clay off of the wall in the first place, they're going to eat that. That'll provide them with vitamins, minerals, and nutrients they could potentially lack inside of their diets. So I think there may be a few other ones out here. Hopefully we'll get closer there too. Oh, and it looks like we're going to get pretty close to one over here as well. So something that's incorrect about the elephant is their skin. It is not super tough. It is actually really sensitive. So they have to come up with a way to keep themselves cooler and protected. And a really great way that they'll do that, they'll take whatever they have at their disposal. That could be sand, water, or even mud in their trunks there. And then they fling that right onto their backs. Something else they do that we already see that he's doing there, they flap those ears back and forth. That's creating this really large fanning motion for them, and that's actually going to cool their bodies down by about 15 degrees or so. We do call it ear conditioning.
Welcome in. Thanks for being here.
There's a couple greater flamingos here. They are not going to be hatched with that pink color. They're actually going to get that color from their diets. They consist of little shrimps and other small crawfish-like creatures. Those contain a protein called beta-carotene. So all that means is that the more they eat, the pink green color that they'll appear over time. Now we do know that process could take upwards of about 2 years. That is because they are a lot more gray and a little bit fluffier at first. However, full grown in a group, we do get to call them a flamboyance of flamingos. That's in reference to that really pretty pink coloring that we will see on their feathers eventually.
Stay tuned. I saw Cora.
So continuing in this next area, it looks like there's a crash out here. This is what we call a crash of white rhino. That is the name for a group of them. So just like the elephants, they are also going to have really sensitive skin. But of course, unlike the elephant we know who can fling the mud on their backs, they can't do that because they have horns. We're going to dig that out, so which is this mud wallow here in the middle. And what they're going to do is roll around in that and use it as a personal sunblock or even a bug repellent there. But because they are so social, we actually don't have a set location you can find them in every single time you ride the safari. That is usually going to be up to us to keep our eyes open and look for them together. And of course, we see they're all in their favorite hangout spot here. Now we move a little farther ahead here. There is a group of cheetahs here.
You see them.
Cheetahs cheetahs are going to be the fastest running land mammals. They can go from about 0 to 60 miles per hour in just under 3 seconds. They can't keep up those speeds for very long though, just a couple of yards in the much shorter distances. They're also the only large cats that can purr or meow, and they don't have any of those retractable claws. And if you've ever seen sports players with a black paint underneath their eyes, that's actually something they got from those cheetah. Cheetahs have black that go from their tear ducts all the way down to those corners of their mouths. That'll absorb the sunlight and allow them to see a little bit better. And although technically a group of cheetah is called a coalition, all of our cheetahs on the reserve actually happen to be sisters, so at least here we do also get to call them the Cheetah Girls.
Good one.
So this is a Kobe rock here. Oh, I actually hear that lion. So I hear him, but I don't see him. So here's the female here. Oh yeah, he's in the back over there. So that roar can actually be heard at around 5 to 6 miles away. Now usually they are a little bit trickier to spot. The female here, she's already started on it. They sleep up to 20 hours a day. That is because their night vision is what's best for hunting, and she is actually going to carry out a majority of that. Now we're not saying that he doesn't participate in any of it at all, but if he is back protecting his family, that mane there, that's actually going to help him look just bigger and more challenging if any of those potential predators happen to come along and he is actually back protecting them. It's a rarity to catch him doing a roar here. Usually he'll do it closer to nighttime after they've been sleeping all day, and then he'll get up. And usually they do it together. So I always recommend that if you like to have another opportunity to potentially see the lions, definitely come back at the end of the night. Now I can't guarantee that you'll get to see most or any of the other animals we did see out here, but if your main priority is the lions, end of the night is a really good time to come out here. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and exit this part of the savannah. We're going to head into the last and final stop here. So this last area is called Magadi Glen, and this is where the warden and his staff live. They do a really good job taking care of all of the surrounding wildlife and their environments that you and I got to see together today. So anybody you might have seen out there in those green vehicles or the green outfits, they're actually the ones that help make all of this possible. So we couldn't do any of it without them. We are extremely thankful for everything they do, not only just for us, but of course most importantly these animals and their habitats. And it does look like we have saved the cutest animals for last up here today. And those would be the Nigerian dwarf goats. They are super friendly, very playful, a little mischievous, though they do have excellent balance, and they really enjoy showing off their climbing abilities. So we do have to come and check up on them from time to time throughout the day, just to make sure they haven't gotten into too much trouble while the warden is gone tending to other things out on the reserve there. If you'd ever like to learn about them or potentially even pet one, there is an area you might can do that right here at Animal Kingdom. It's called Rafiki's Planet Watch. There is an entire affection section out there. Sometimes you can find the cows, pigs, donkeys, and more of these goats, of course, for example. They would really appreciate your visit and your company. Now you do have to take the Wildlife Express train on over to that area. Luckily it is a really short train ride. They leave every 5 minutes until about 4:30 p.m. this afternoon. So make sure you keep that time in mind if that is something you're interested in doing today. Unfortunately though, at this time, our time together and your safari are both coming to an end, or maybe fortunately for y'all, so you don't have to listen to me sound like this anymore. But this is a really great time. Go ahead and start taking a look around. Make sure you have all your personal belongings back there. That does of course include your favorite friends, your favorite family members, anybody and anything you don't want left behind to go on another 2-week safari here with me, because I did enjoy our time together today just so much. I am actually going to continue driving around in circles, and I am going to go do the safari all over again. Of course, though, if you do have any other questions that I did not get answered for you out on the reserve today, I do also have an open window policy. They're literally always open, because if you take a look around, I don't have any windows either. So feel free to come on up here, ask any of those other questions you might have, or if you would just like to say hello. Now, if you enjoyed your safari today, my name is Macy. If you did not enjoy your safari today, well, my name is Bruno, and you already know we don't talk about Bruno. Now, if we have any wilderness explorers aboard here with us today, the name of your truck is Simba 1. That is Simba like the lion, and the number 1. I do hope y'all remember to go well, go wild, go make a difference, stay hydrated. Please remember to be kind to one another. Again, my name is Macy from Alabama. Thanks so much for riding with me today, y'all. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom or wherever your next adventure might take you next. If you're on the right side, watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs, or just slide open. Watch your step as you exit. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
Hi everybody, how was your safari?
Oh yeah, the story. It had a good message though. And Little Red, remember the little baby elephant in the trunk at the end? He's actually the little baby elephant at the end of the Jungle Cruise. That's Little Red. Okay, yeah. We'll get a good picture by the tree. Do our first little water run probably.
Yes.
Were the lions out?
Oh yeah, the male was roaring. It was amazing.
Oh, he roared?
Oh yeah.
See, you can usually hear them roaring over here because it's like in their throat, that chuffing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And we saw a baby zebra like in the middle of the road.
Yeah, the lion that roars before all the MGM films is actually a tiger.
Oh, really?
Because lions do not roar like that. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that
It's somebody from the film industry that
did that.
There's a video, I can't remember what movie it's from, where they used the lions really.
Okay.
They showed the video of what they actually did, and it was a guy with a trash can making the noise into the trash can.
Okay.
And that's what they did over.
Like a
It's some
fully
famous
staged-
movie.
Okay. That's cool.
And that's how they did the vocals for the lion.
Out like the water.
Board a rustic train to discover Disney alongside. I don't know what happened to my alarm this morning. I set it on my 6:31, but it's only for the weekday.
Stand by line, take the floor, what's in
Well, we went twice on safari. We're at 10 o'clock. I think the second safari was amazing. I don't know how we could top it. Going again, the wait time is now 35 minutes. We need to get over to Magic Kingdom for Tiana's, the Bears. So we've got a little walking to do here. A little waiting. something that we do not have the flotillas. That's what I've heard, no flotillas right now. You can do actually meet and greets some characters on the move. I'm pretty good about that. Doing the safari twice. I wanted to start that day with sort of theme of going wild. I'm gonna go see some other wild critters. The animatronic kind. Got your lunch and since we got our resort mug, probably try to go to Contemporary or to Gasparilla Grill for lunch to get some soda, get some coffee. I did get the virtual queue, and we at least could hop on the monorail this afternoon and jump to. Because the weekend is really cool. I've never done 4 parks in a single day, so there will be potential to this afternoon to depends on the weather and it's up to. So good. Should take the monorail from Magic Kingdom to Epcot, Skyliner out of Epcot to Hollywood, then bus from Hollywood to Magic. Consider. Let's go see if there's any characters real quick. It's always hard to leave a park, right? It's like hard. I'm the park hop out. We did get to do safari twice. And heard the lion roar. There's the tree of life. Let's see. Let's see if Doug is meeting here. That would be cool because I have not got to talk to Doug. Doug is meeting here with Russell. Let's see what Doug is showing. Oh, no, Russell. Oh, it's Russell meeting. Oh, okay. Russell just went over there. There goes Russell. Alrighty. It's a Bugs Live. Well, was something else. The bugs crawl around on the seat. Let's give it a go. Oh, look.
Great place to stay in Italy. Vamos a comprarlo de lugar.
Por boca.
Alright, everyone. We will wrap up our Animal Kingdom stream and we'll be heading over to Magic Kingdom. Go wild! Everyone, all aboard is going aboard. Thanks for being here today. We'll see you real soon.